3.1 Solving Quadratic Equations. Essential question: how can you solve a quadratic using graphing, square root, and factoring? In this screencast, we're going to be looking at graphing. We're going to be solving quadratic equations by graphing. Step 1 is to take a look at graphing the related function. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this and graph the parabola y equals to x squared minus x minus 6. Once the graph is made, we are then going to look for what we call the x-intercepts. And the x-intercepts are where it crosses the x-axis or when y is equal to 0, which is what we're looking at, when y is equal to 0. Y is equal to 0 with these 2 points. So we say the solution is x equal to -2 and x is equal to 3. We can check our work by putting -2 into the equation and noticing that it does tell the truth. And we do the same thing with 3 and notice it tells the truth. In this example, we have to make sure that everything goes to one side. So we're going to add -4x to both sides so that we can get something that looks like this. And then we can go ahead and graph the related parabola. So we're going to use this portion right here and write y is equal to this. The graph is right here, and we're going to look for the x-intercepts, or where it crosses the x-axis. It only crosses the x-axis at one point, and that place is when y is equal to 0. So when y is equal to 0, the x is -1. So we say that the solution is -1. We can check our work by substituting -1 into the original equation. And then we end up getting -2 minus 2 is equal to -4. And that does tell the truth, so we know we did it correctly. We're going to use Desmos to graph our parabolas, and here is the website that you need to use. Okay, so we're going to solve the equation by graphing. So step 1 is to graph the related function, which is y is equal to x squared plus 3x minus 4. As soon as it's graphed, we are going to find the x-intercepts, or where it crosses the x-axis. This is the point at which y is equal to 0. We want to figure out what the x's are where that is true. And we're going to do it for both of these. So let's go ahead. Here's Desmos, and we're going to type y. You can either use your keyboard or the keyboard here. Y is equal to, and our first equation was x to the second power. And again, you can use your keyboard or the keyboard provided, plus 3x minus 4. Now we can see the parabola, and we're looking at the points or the x-intercepts, and you can just hover over and actually click it and it'll stay, hover over it and it'll click it. So I can see that my answers are x is equal to -4 and x is equal to 1. So my answers are x is equal to -4 and x is equal to 1. I can go ahead and graph the next equation, and it's going to be y is equal to -x squared and then minus 2x minus 3. Now when we look at this, you can see that it's not crossing the x-axis, and when it doesn't cross the x-axis, that's an indication that there is no solution. So in this case, there is no solution, which means there is no x that will make this sentence true. In summary, this is what I'm using. I'm using this graph, and the answer is x is equal to -4 and 1, and here there is no solution. Okay, it's your turn. Go ahead and stop the screencast and use Desmos to graph and find your x-intercepts and your solution. Here are the answers. Notice that I did provide the graph. I got x equal to 2 and 6, 1.5 here, and here there was no solution. This is the end of the screencast.